Hi guys, Andy again at Pete Watermans Leamington Spa layout, and if you recall from the last video we did Leamington approaches, which is just over there. I'll turn the camera around in a minute. So we've done Hatton Bank, which is over the other side, Leamington approaches, and I was going to do the station for video number 3, but because all the effort has been placed on the completion of the town centre and the effort that's gone into it by both Pete, Dave Douglas and a multitude of other people, I thought it might be a good idea just to spend a few minutes showing you how that's progressing and giving you an insight as to some of the detail that's been included. I've got running around a Class 22, which you might be able to hear, with a short rake of waste oil tanks, so I'll show you that at some point as well. Okay, let's go. So the view we're looking at now is just across an element, I suppose, of the Leamington skyline, but it gives you an indication as to what's been achieved in a relatively short period of time. This is the Class 22 trailing across the girder bridge in the background, so I'll just wait for that to pass and then I'll pan around and show you some of the buildings in more detail. They've all been laser cut, mostly in 2mm MDF. The drawings have been done in-house on the computer by Dave Douglas, who does all the woodwork on the layout, so anything to do with wood or anything like that, Dave Douglas has been responsible for it, which includes the construction of the baseboards, which in itself, as you can imagine, is a labour of love with such a large layout. In fact, just bear with me a minute, I'll just go and switch off that logo. So along with the MDF being laser cut, much of the plastic card cladding has also been laser cut, so it's been easy to apply. All of the windows again have been created in-house. Some of them are sashes, some of them are obviously unopening windows, but if I just pan around I'll give you some ideas. Let me zoom out slightly. I have zoomed out, there we go. So that gives you some indication as to where we're at so far, and I'll zoom in over there, but it makes such a difference. All of the chimney pots, and there are many of them, have been printed on the digital SLA machine, which was downstairs, but it's no longer there now. And if I just, you'll notice in the foreground there as well one of the old 1950s style aerials. Those have been constructed by Bob Tapman. I've just noticed these chimney pots here as well, which are slightly different to the others, which is probably worth me showing. There we are, there's one there, and there's one there. Just raise up slightly. There we go, and zoom in on those, because they're quite brilliant. There we go, that one there. That one there. Camera work's not at its best, but I'm getting there, I'm getting there. And there's a good shot of showing one of the aerials as well. So whilst I'm on that shot, I'll bring that 22 back and let's have a look what that looks like. Yeah, it looks pretty good. And then if I pan round, you'll see the Class 22 disappearing off into the distance as it approaches Leamington Station. So Chris Louth has been busy. Not only has he been busy with his Knox static grass applicator, which you can see there, it's been put to good effect, the grass standing up nicely, but also some ivy, I suppose, trailing ivy, adorning the outside of these buildings. If I just pan outwards slightly, you get an idea of the effect that it has, which is really, really quite good. And again, I'll go round that way. So I'll pick the camera up and I'll show you the front of the Great Western Hotel. In fact, I'll have to take the camera off. So there we are. That gives you an idea of the facade of the hotel. Again, all of these buildings have been constructed in-house, painted and ultimately weathered here as well. This one's still in the throes of being constructed. The doorway and the windows are in the process of being completed. And as you can see, there's a multitude of different types of windows as well, which is really quite impressive. And if I come back, again holding onto the camera, you'll see the Midland Club, which again is a completely different facade. It's like a stucco facade, if you like, as opposed to a brickwork facade. And you've got the entrance downstairs and the steps to gain access to the first floor of the building. Again, the roof is in the process of being of having slate supplied rather, and again you've got a multitude of chimney pots to feast your eyes upon there. Next to the Midland Club, you've got the garage, car sales, which is again still under construction. You've got the corrugated roof, and next to that you have a timber yard, which is again still under construction. You'll notice as well, and I'm not attempting to hide any of the modelling equipment here, because this is very much, as I said in the previous video, a modeller's layout and is still in the process of being constructed. If I lift the camera up, and again this is handheld so forgive me, you'll look across the other side of the layout. Even more buildings are over there. Unless you go over there you actually won't be able to see them anyway, but Peter knows that they're there, so he's decided to model them, and I will go over the other side to give you an indication as to what's going on over there. If I walk this way, this is interesting, and I know he's posted a photograph of this on social media, but it's not something that is done very often, in fact, if at all, whereby the back of the building, which is facing the off layout, if you like, he's put some cutaway floors in with joists, just to give you an idea of the level of detail that it's gone into and the thought process into what's going on behind the construction of the town centre. If I come around this way, again you've got more aerials, you've got cutouts for skylights which have yet to be installed. This building here is again almost completed. That will make a good shot actually of that 22 going across, where you can see the, I'll just zoom in if I can on that girder bridge, which is a complete one-off. It's been scratch built, and if you look at photography, or if you're fortunate enough to be actually in Leamington Spa, you will see that it is an absolute carbon copy of what is a fantastic piece of engineering. I'll just come back again now, and again this is a selection of the layout which has been photographed quite a lot. This is really good. Again, this is an area that was in existence, Pratt & Sons, which is a wood and sawdust sales. Again, all of this has been constructed with CAD drawings and then cut out on the laser cutter downstairs. The blind arch is there as well, you can see. Those are actual pieces of wood which were cut on a bandsaw. I don't think health and safety was looked at very much when that was being done, because that was quite a terrifying thing to see. And then you'll see these outhouses, outside toilets. In fact, if I zoom in on, where are we? That one there, I think, isn't that one there? That one there. There's actually one with a toilet inside it somewhere. It's on one of them. Can't see which one it is. Anyway, doesn't matter. So these buildings here were actually original resin buildings, and these have been on the layout for some time, as opposed to everything that way, there we are, pointing at my finger. Those are newly constructed out of MDF, as are those over there, as are those there, as is the brewery over there. Those there in Clapham Terrace, those are one of the original sets of resin buildings. Okay, this is a rather nice shot as well. This pays homage, if you like, to an original photograph, I believe by Dick Blenkinsop, and it shows obviously the disused vehicle there, a small allotment here, and the rows of gardens. These have been in existence. These have been here for a long time, so everything to the left of this, as I'm looking at it, is newly constructed. So these are the backs, if you like, of the original resin terraces, which have been in existence, as I said, for some time. This is the back of the brewery. There we are. Ansell's Ales and Stouts, and all of these again are new buildings, and I'll switch off in a minute. I'll go back under the layout and show you the caretaker's cottage, which is a nice addition. I'll go and do that now. So this is the caretaker's cottage, and I think some of you have probably seen this image before because Pete's posted it on his Facebook page. There's a conservatory with something growing inside, and there's the rather wonderfully kept allotment, which, as I said, if you're standing on the other side of the layout, you won't know it's there. But it is there, and for those of you that are lithe enough and nimble enough to limbo underneath the layout and get into this relatively small space, you'll see the benefit of it in all its glory. Still quite a bit to do, as you can see. Although the roofs are on, there's no flashing, there's no windows in this one. None of the windows have been glazed. That gives you a good indication of the Great Western Hotel from this side. I'll just whiz into that. There we are. And there's the back of the Medland Club and the back of the garages. And if I go all the way around, you can see that's entering Leamington General Station from the south. That's Leamington General on the left, and further up on the right is the Avenue Station, both of which I will cover on another video. So what I'm going to try and do now is to get that 22 running around again and perhaps give a decent shot of that. Okay, I'll do that now. Okay, these Merg guys are quite brilliant actually. So this is one of the handsets which you can take out and plug in at various locations of the layout. So the number of that locomotive is 6327, so it's 6327, enter, and I want to reverse the loco back. Got to be one of the best models on the layout. This certainly one of my favourites, if not the favourite. So I'll send it all the way back and I'll set the camera up and we'll get some decent shots of that trundling through, maybe looking at it through the chimneys. See how we get on. So there we are, guys. Once again, apologies for some of the shaky camera work, but I'm still learning as I'm going along. So I hope this is giving you an insight into the level of skill that's involved and exploited making this town centre element of the layout. I will do the stations next time, and again, if there's anything you want to see run, please let me know. Don't forget to subscribe, click the bell icon so that you don't miss any updated videos, and I'll have some more content as soon as possible. Alright, thanks for watching. Cheers, guys.